Um, so all that's kind of interesting. But sorry, what did you have Ada on this list? Because I think the fact that they keep hinting at Sarada being able to kill her
I
kind of
said,
makes more sense.
I
I don't think they're
But
hinting at
said
that.
high tier.
And I think realistically, anyone can kill anyone else in Naruto as long as they're off guard. In the same way, like in the Resurrection F movie in Dragon Ball, that one Frieza soldier was able to shoot Goku when he's off guard. So I think you even see this in flashbacks. To be fair, this is filler, but I forget his name, but Konohamaru's friend that died against Ao, Mujino.
get the glasses.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
Mujino.
trash. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember him.
he's able to stab Hiruzen, and to be fair, Hiruzen wanted him to be stabbed, but I think you get the point to where he has a kunai. Kunai can work on him.
Yeah, so wait. So number one, Gara, but I get your point. That's a different context.
The
Um,
sand shield, yeah. This also gets
yeah,
into, I think, just naturally. Have you seen Hunter x Hunter, by the way?
yeah.
Okay. I think in the same way in Hunter x Hunter, they're able to fortify their body with nin. I think Shinobi just might passively or maybe consciously do this with like invisible chakra or a very thin layer. And that's how you get durability things that wouldn't make sense. Because otherwise, how are Shinobi able to like be stabbed with kunai when they're flying through craters and just making holes in rocks with their bare skin without any scratches or anything?
I think you
I
would
definitely agree with
apply.
that. I think
Yeah,
you can. I think they can. Pretty much. You sound like they send their chakra to certain parts of their body, or like kind of stack it up at certain parts to tank a hit or something like that, right?
So I think it is like a taijutsu based, not ability, but like technique. Well, it's the same thing based on what Mello was saying earlier, but you know what I mean.
no, I mean,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I think you would take into consideration the wielder of the shuriken. So like if they're getting stabbed, I'm sure like the person who's striking at them or throwing the thing at them is bringing to bear their own chakra. So then it can
Yes.
scale. But I would imagine if like Joe Blow, right? Shout out to Joe, um, ran up with no chakra and just stabbed them, then it would probably just like not even work
Yeah.
if they're on guard with their like chakra, or if you're what you're saying, they have some kind of passive um application of chakra to boost their stats to a degree.
I completely agree in a
If,
serious sense. If they have some anime filler where they're just walking through Konoha and like a bank robber stabs someone in the back, would imagine they would bleed from that just based on like the plot demanding it or whatever. But like outside of that, and like a serious perspective to where it's like an important narrative part of the arc, if they're trying to pull that, that's just not going to work. It really depends on the context of the writers, I think.
that's why I always joke that Ishiki's shuriken level,
Yeah.
but I mean, bro was ducking shuriken. Know what I
The
mean?
thing,
So
okay, Ishiki and the Shinju and Madara and Obito when they absorb the Tentels are different because their skin literally changes. Like it's literally physically different. I don't know if it's something else, but I don't know. It just might be. At least in the
I don't know,
Shinju's case, I
bro.
think it literally is just something else. I don't think they have skin. I think it is just wood.
I mean, Momoshiki, obviously a different being than the Shinju, but bro was getting packed. Like he was getting cut up by them shuriken, them Demon One shuriken from Sasuke.
Yeah.
So I mean, we know Otsutsuki are susceptible to like that level of application. I mean, God forbid you infuse some chakra into it. But I have Ada at the. Oh, no, you're fine. You're
I
fine.
think the instance with Donzo trying to use the kunai against Sasuke Susanoo is interesting.
Mm,
So with this,
mhm.
I do think generally, and again, this is with invisible chakra. I think whenever shinobi use weapons, they also imbue chakra into that weapon to increase the durability of that weapon. Because otherwise, when you get instances with like Sasuke trying to stab someone with a sword, the sword would just shatter on impact, no matter who he's fighting against. Just like the kunai. I think in the kunai example, Donzo just wasn't doing that because he wasn't expecting the Susanoo to be strong, or he was expecting Sasuke to be off guard, or whatever. But I think in all other
Mm,
instances, it's the only thing that could make sense. It would also make sense
I
for like
don't
the
know.
cutting power, considering Sasuke runs lightning style through his sword. In that case, he's molding the chakra. In this case, normally it just be raw chakra, unmolded chakra that just runs through the sword, quote unquote.
I feel like maybe my only problem with that is that they made such a big deal about what Sasuke was doing, running lightning through his blade, that they never even once mentioned any lesser version of that or variation. I think that would have been something that they would have spoken about if it was a thing. But I kind of understand what you mean by like, yeah, like that. The sword, like, it's not been stated that it's made of some kind of special metal or whatever. Like, the was it the Kusanagi blade?
Yeah.
So yeah, so like, and even that, I don't even know if that would like hold up against like, I don't know, top tier Otsutsuki or whatever. But yeah, so like for all intents and purposes, Sasuke Boruto's blade should just be like a normal blade, as far as we know. So yeah, and maybe it should like break or shatter or whatever. It's difficult to say. But I feel like Sasuke, when he like when he swipes down at like base Momo's neck before he like fuses or becomes fused Momo, I think he did that expecting it to work. And maybe his intent itself can speak to like, I don't know, some kind of scaling or whatever. Like the fact that he even thought that would work. Yeah. I mean, maybe. But at the same time, like, I don't think Sasuke is like a reliable person to take into consideration when it comes to like where he scales relative to Otsutsuki in
Yeah.
particular.
Does that moment happen in the manga?
Yeah.
Do you know? Well, I guess it doesn't matter considering it's Ikimoto copying it in the first place, so it's not even the source material. But I think that
I think
moment
it does happen in the manga.
that moment's weird and is arguably a retcon. Because, I mean, first of all, why wouldn't Sasuke just use lightning style to imbue it into the sword in that moment anyways? But he could have been using normal, raw, invisible chakra if it's easier, or just if he thinks it's going to work, or he could be using nothing. In that case, the sword might break, but if he's only putting enough power that he thinks would cut off Momoshiki's neck, then I guess the sword wouldn't break. Then you have the instance where he tries to stab Jigen in the neck, and again, he thinks it's going to work, and Jigen seemingly also thinks it's going to work because he puts the rods there to block the hit, and he seems to think it would have just taken his neck off. So why would it have worked against Jigen but not Momoshiki? The only thing I can think of would be outside of Otsutsuki having skin that isn't skin, like I was saying earlier, which is evidence towards that. I think it's because he's eating the chakra fruit. You could argue it's the chakra fruit itself, or maybe it's the intense burst of power from the power up rather than the power that he has naturally. Because I think he could take off fused Momoshiki's head, as funny as it is, but he can't take off Momoshiki's head as he's turning into fused Momoshiki.
Yeah,
Hey.
that you just oh yeah, he used lightning release or his lightning in his blade versus Jigen. That would be the difference. Whereas versus base Momo in transit, he was not using lightning release. So
Okay.
yeah. So how I would do this is like